guys, my name is Megan and today I've got my October wrap up for you. Alright, so October has been a very, very busy month. There's a lot of stuff going on in the world at the moment. There's also a lot of stuff going on in my personal life, which we'll talk about a little bit later. Anyway, let's go ahead and just dive into all of the books I've read and did not read in October. So the first book that I finished this month was Summer Suns. Oh my god, this book is amazing and y'all should read it if you haven't already. My review for this is so short because I was just so at a loss for words. This book is amazing. It's so good. It's dark academia mixed with like Fast and the Furious, mixed with like paranormal hauntings and like murder mysteries and this queer longing and queer horror that I want to scream about this book from the top of my lungs. This is honestly the easiest 5 stars that I've ever given a book. And if you haven't read it yet, you definitely should, because honestly, one of the best books I've read this year. And this might actually knock a couple of books out of their running for the top book of the year. So next up I finished Possess Me, which is one of my ebooks for this month. This was a really great read. Somehow it seemed a lot softer and had a little less plot going on than the first book in the series, which was Bite Me. I really liked it. I liked Luca and Prudence. Their love story was really interesting because they kind of started off as like one night stand, turned into friends with benefits, turned into full-blown romance where neither of them wanted to admit that their feelings were involved, and it was kind of really sweet. This one got a 4 out of 5 stars, and I'm really excited about the next book. Next up was another of my ebooks. So this one was actually a short story. This is Trick or Treat. This was a really sweet, like, age gap romance with a nerd, like a computer programmer that met this really nice gym instructor who ends up kind of becoming his friend, and he tells him that, you know, he's lonely after his boyfriend kicked him out of his house and cheated on him, that kind of stuff. And, like, the gym instructor actually has a crush on him and doesn't want to tell him, and it's a little bit mistaken identity on Halloween night. And like, such a cute little short romance. This got a 4 out of 5 stars. Would highly recommend because it's May Archer, and May Archer is one of my favorite authors. Next up was another Halloween romance short story. This is Headless. This was not my favorite book. I probably would have DNF'd it if it wasn't so short. I'm not sure how I feel about this one. It was just kind of bits and pieces of different sex scenes from different Halloweens. So this one was a Headless Horseman romance retelling kind of a thing. It was interesting, but I'm not sure I would go back and reread or read the main book that these characters have, I think. To me, it just felt kind of a meh. This got a 3 out of 5 stars, and I'm not sure I'm going to read the book that this is a short story of. So next up, I finished Blackwater. This is a really great graphic novel. I loved the alternating style that the two authors had. They would trade off chapters, so one would have one art style, one would have a different one. And it's just a story of, like, this little town that has these mysterious animal deaths going on, and it's like a werewolf that's haunting the woods. There's also ghosts, and like one of our main characters can see ghosts, the other and has chronic illness. The other gets bitten by the werewolf and it turns into a werewolf, and it was just a really interesting and fun take on like a werewolf story. This got a 4 out of 5 stars. Would highly recommend. It's such a good book. And just like the artwork is really interesting because it goes back and forth between 2 different art styles, which is really cool. Okay, and then we are on to the books that I'm currently reading as of filming this video. The first of which is Rolling in the Deep. This is the prequel to Into the Drowning Deep. This is really interesting because it is the story of the Atargatis, which is the ship that disappeared while on this documentary research thing for looking to see if mermaids are actually real. That was mentioned, and actually the whole premise for the book. And so far, I think I'm about halfway through it, and it's really interesting so far. That one I will definitely have done by the end of October. And then the other book that I'm currently reading as of filming this video is Pack of Lies. This is the first book in... I'm not sure if this is a series or not. I think it is. I don't know the name of it though. This is actually really, really fun so far. I'm about 70 pages in, and I love these two main characters. They're so fun. This is following Julian, who is kind of a former television star, kind of still a Hollywood star. He's in his mid-40s. So this is following Julian as he's trying to piece together what happened to his brother. I think his brother either was murdered or he died in mysterious circumstances. And it leads him to this very tiny town in North Carolina, searching for a mythical creature that his brother was kind of like obsessed with. And this book also follows Eli Smith, who happens to be a werewolf, who is just opening up a shelter for werewolves on the run that, like, you know, society doesn't know werewolves exist, that kind of thing. And they meet by accident when Julian is stranded in the middle of the wilderness after a strange beast, like, jumps in front of his car, and he has a little bit of a car accident, and he wanders into Eli's shelter resort, and that's how they meet, and they start kind of investigating this murder mystery, maybe, and it's so good so far. Like, I cannot put this book down, and it's been a while since I've had a physical book that just drew me in so much, like, right from the beginning. And this one is definitely not going to be done this month, so I'm also going to include it in my November TBR. So that is everything that I read and did not read in October. My favorite book this month has to go to Summer Sun's Good God. That book had me in like a vice grip and would not let go. And if you haven't read it yet, please, please, please read it. It's so good. Did you guys have a favorite book this month? Let me know down below. If you guys like this video, don't forget the like button. If you haven't already but would like to, go and hit the subscribe button. And if you'd like to follow me on social media for more bookish stuff, check out the links down below. Alrighty, bye guys.